Hello John and Jim, thank you very much for coming today. I thought it was a lot easier to just sit down and have a meeting with you so we could go through the cash flow, the profit and loss statement and the balance sheet, just to get you around and familiar with those financial statements and how they can help your business run smoothly.
So that would be really helpful.
Wonderful. If you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask, because that's why I'm here.
Perfect.
So I'll start off with cash flow. Cash flow is your key indicator of how your business is financially healthy. So having more cash means that you can borrow, you can get more equipment, your business can thrive. It's got more stability. So knowing how much money you're getting in and putting back out is key to knowing if your business is striving, or understanding where you can cut expenses so that your profit margin can be higher. The other thing as well with having knowing your cash flow, it also helps with if there's emergencies or dilemmas that you might need quick cash for. If you're looking at upgrading your premise, or as we talked about recently with getting the new 2 Hiluxes, they need maintenance, fuel, tools, and having the cash flow sitting there ready will enable you to have a lot less stress.
Like a rainy day account.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. So knowing your cash flow comes from having a profit and loss statement and your balance sheet. So a profit and loss statement is a great way of showing your income and your expenses. So your expenses can be anything from your costs, your wages, your rent, electricity, anything that you're putting your money out to third-party companies. And it also just looks at the overall health. So I'm not sure how much financial background you do have, but obviously you want more income than you do expenses. So the profit and loss also outlines in categories where you're spending or where most of your income is coming from. So when we set up the profit and loss statement, you could have houses, extensions, plumbing. So then you know which ones are getting the most income for you. So you can narrow down and have a look at that. And then for your expenses, you can have them in categories, and then you can look at how you can cut back. So are you hiring too many people? Can we cut down that a little bit? Are you overbuying your materials or supplies? Also having a profit and loss statement updated regularly means that if you do need to borrow or you need to buy a massive machine, it is looked very good upon with investors, because they can see that you understand what's going in and out of your business, and you're not just buying something on a whim. You've had a look and you know that your business can afford it. Does that make...
And how often should we be preparing a profit and loss statement?
Okay, so most of the time they say about on a 3-monthly basis, just going back and rechecking. Expenses can pile up, especially when you're doing massive jobs. So having a look every 3 months. If that is a bit too fast for the type of work that you're doing, every 6 months is generally a good time to reassess, and especially after if you're building brand new houses from scratch, having a look once that house is completed so you know how much you did spend and how much you got.
If we wanted to borrow some money,
yes.
Is this something that the bank
yes,
would
the bank
require?
The bank would ask for the profit and loss statement. So depending on how many you had done, by the time you'd gone in to borrow, they may ask for the last 3 years worth, so they can see the changes and fluctuations in your income and your expenses. So as long as you're in a positive money with your income, then the bank will look at that. And then lastly is your balance sheet. So it looks at your assets and your liabilities as a business. So it then cuts it down, as well as your owner's equity, which is the money that you've put in personally into the business or the money that you've drawn out. So assets are anything that are owned by the business that you're not paying off. So any tools, equipment that you've bought outright, if you've bought the premise, that is also an asset. And then you've got your liabilities, which is anything you're paying off, which could be your bank loan, your electricity. It then goes into current and non-current assets and liabilities. So everything that is within 12 months is classed as current. Anything over 12 months is non-current. So with you using a accounting software, adding in all your assets and liabilities, it will make one up. However, you can do it yourself by having one column on the side with assets, current assets and non-current assets, and then on the other side you have liabilities and current liabilities. Down the bottom you have your owner's equity, and by adding that all up you'll be able to see if you're positive or negative. Obviously you want more assets to the liabilities.
So is this something that the taxation office
Yes.
would require?
Yes. So when you're going to a bank, it's the profit and loss. When you're putting in your tax on a yearly basis, it will be a balance sheet.
Right.
So everything that goes in and out of your bank account will go onto the balance sheet, and that's what the taxation department will base your tax on.
Right. And work out our taxable income for the
Yes.
business.
Exactly. So a balance sheet should be done very regularly, even on a fortnightly basis, because it changes up every transaction. So, you know, if you want to really know how your business is going, be on top of the balance sheet on a regular basis, and you will see where things have changed and where you can improve.
Okay.
And that is all for today.
Thank you very
Very
much,
good,
Jess.
thank you.
That was good.